Good morning, grade twos. Today is a Wednesday, and we have finished rearranging some shapes to make new shapes. And today we're going to start something new. And today you're going to need this square graph paper that I've put in your package. And you're also going to need a marker. So press pause if you need to. And I'd like you to get this page and a marker. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you color 4 squares. But there are a little bit of rules I want you to follow. So the squares have to be beside or above and below. They can't be like a diagonal touching each other. So they have to be connected, either beside, above, or below. They can't be like a diagonal. And I want you to make a shape. So I want you to color in, it doesn't have to be like a circle, square, any kind of shape that you want to make. But I want you to color in 4 squares that are touching along the sides of each other, either above or below or left or the right, okay? So press pause and make a shape by coloring in 4 squares, okay? So I'm gonna color in mine. Okay, so here is my shape. So I used 4 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're touching along the side, not just a corner. Okay, so a whole side is connected to another one. Yours could look totally different. There are so many things that you could do when you color in 4 squares, okay? They can form all different types of shapes, okay? But we're going to talk about how much space our shape covers up, okay? So the amount of space that a shape covers up is called area. And I'm going to write area on the board. So this is what we're going to talk about today and tomorrow. We're going to talk about area. And area is the amount of space something covers. So I want you to think about your textbook and think about your desk at school. And if I were to put my textbook down on my desk, how much space does it cover on my desk? Well, the way we measure that, we call it area. And everything that we've been measuring, we need to be able to use something that everyone else will know. Okay? So area is going to equal 1 square unit. Okay, so we just made shapes that are 4 square units. So the area of the shapes that we made, the amount of space that it covers is 4 square units. Okay, so we just made shapes with 4 square units. Now, I will also tell you that you could make a shape that uses half square units. So I'm going to draw a shape here that is using half of a square. Okay? So right here, I've got another shape that has 1, 2, 3 full squares and 2 halves. And we know 2 halves together make a whole. So a triangle and a triangle, half of each square put together makes a full one. So this is another shape where its area is 4 square units, because 1, 2, 3, and put the 2 halves together make 4. So both of these shapes have the same area. They cover the same amount of space. They can be turned and longer or out the side, but they cover the same space, and that is 4 square units, okay? Now, I would like you to get your textbook, and if you need a second, press pause, and I want you to open to page 102. And I want you to look at all of these shapes on here. They are made up of the same number of square tiles. All of them have 6 square tiles, but look at all the different shapes. That's the same with what we created. I bet you yours, and if we looked at every other grade 2s in the class, they would all look different. But the area is the same. The amount of space that they cover is 6 tiles. 6 square units. So each area of each shape is 6 square units. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's 6 squares. Okay? Now we're going to turn to page 103. And we're going to figure out what is the area of each of these. So let's start up here. What is the area of this shape? Well, we count the number of squares that it covers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in each row. So we got 6. Another 6 would give me 12, right? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So this is 24 square units. That's the area. I just had to count the squares, the amount of space that it covers. It covers 24 squares. Okay? I want you to see if you can tell me, what's the area of this? This one is 12 square units. So if you counted 12. Let's go down here and count this one. Now you'll notice this one has some half squares, but remember, 2 halves together make a whole. So let's see if you can find the area for this one. So when I count all the whole ones, I have 20. Well, these 2 halves will make 21, and these 2 halves together will make 22. So the area is 22 square units. Let's turn over the page and do the next page. Okay, we have shape A, shape B, and shape C. What is the area of shape A? Count the squares. 7 square units. Let's do B. What's the area of B? 6 square units. And what's the area of C? 8 square units. So if I asked you which shape is the biggest, what would you say? C, because it was 8 square units. Which shape is the smallest? B, right? Because it was 6 square units. Okay? You can do down here, question 3. It says, which 2 shapes are the same size? That means their area is the same number of squares, right, that it covers. So which 2 are the same size? So you'll need to count them. Press pause, count them, and tell me which ones are the same. Okay, if you're not done, press pause. You will notice that D is 7 and F is 7, right? Where we've got E is 6 and G is 5. So D and F are the same because they're both 7 units, both 7 squares. So area is the amount of space it covers, the amount of squares. So today in your workbook, I'd like you to do exercise 65, and it starts off by saying color the pair of shapes that are the same. So look at them and say, are they the same? If so, color them. If they're not, leave them blank. Okay? Then you're going to circle the bigger shapes. You're going to look at both of them and circle. Over here, you're going to draw another shape with the same area. Remember, it can look different. It just has to use the same number of squares, okay? So the area is the number of squares or space it covers, okay? We'll see you tomorrow.